Good morning. Taimar has already spoken about everything that's important, as in we should use something for as long as it's possible. If one day you put on your suit jacket and the sleeves fall off, then it's time to throw it away. I have thought about this question myself. The beauty, the aesthetic view, can this work together with the circular economy? I sometimes look at a piece of clothing and I feel that it fulfills several purposes. It keeps me warm, it protects me from wind, it keeps me clothed, but it might have a hole in it. It might not look very nice anymore. It's worn. And if a state official goes somewhere wearing something like this, people judge them because they are not dressed well. So I have thought about this myself. I must admit that I have often worn socks that are ready to be thrown away, but are still good enough for gardening. So I keep them and I take them out of the cupboard again, and nobody has to see that there's a hole in it when I'm gardening and wearing these old socks. But if you go somewhere that you have to take your shoes off, then, well, things might be a bit awkward. So if I'm going to a doctor's visit, then the doctor might not know that I'm someone who's interested in circular economy, and that's why I wear socks with holes in them. So you have to look at your agenda. So we need to think about the reduction of waste, but also about the society's expectations. How does this all link together? These are the dilemmas that environmental awareness is faced with. If we look at the report on the environmental awareness, we can see that over 80% of people go shopping with their own shopping bag. This is what most people do. If we look at the numbers of shopping bags that used to be bought, plastic bags, years ago, this has less than halved. People have taken on this habit and it seems completely normal. You often see that these bags might have been used for many years. They have been washed, but they are something that show that the person is interested in environment. So it is possible to make changes, and after a certain breaking point, things start working out. When you go shopping, you also see that most people today take their own shopping bag, and very few people actually buy a plastic bag. Now, when we look at the broad picture, there are three important pillars in environmental awareness. The first one of them is biodiversity, as in everything that is to do with producing what we live off. Secondly, climate policy, and finally, circular economy. By and large, circular economy means that everything should come from the environment and go back to the environment, but in the way that it creates added value to us before it goes back to the environment. So it's a very simple idea, whether it is alive nature, whether it is minerals, water. If we take it from our environment, we must make the most of it and only then push it back to the environment, making sure that the environmental impact is as small as possible. If we do this, we create added value and well-being from as little as possible. So if we take this example of a suit, if we use a patch on one of the elbows, you might need less resources. Yes, you might have to pay a seamstress to do it, but you don't have to pay for the material of entire suit being made. Could this be more expensive? Yes, this is the case, but this is because we also value people's work. This is handmade work, and putting a patch on an elbow of a jacket is something that a person needs to spend time on, so why should we undervalue this? It is possible to make an economy work like this. Regarding circular economy, we must also remember that less is more. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that when you travel by plane, you sometimes get some food on the plane. Have you ever been in the middle seat where you cannot even move, and the table is full of things, full of food? You are very uncomfortable, and you feel that if only I could give away some of these things. If I'm offered 3 drinks, I usually say I will just have water. I'm more comfortable if I don't have any juice or coffee. So we often take a lot of things for us, and we make our own life uncomfortable by doing this. If we give something up, we have much more space in our lives, and the purpose is still fulfilled. A few weeks ago, I went to change my tires for winter tires, even though I didn't know when it was going to get cold yet. And when I was picking up my car, I was given a present reflector. I didn't accept it. I said that I had 3 reflectors already. I didn't need another one. They asked me if I wanted to give it to someone as a present, and I said, no, thank you. They probably thought I was a stupid person not accepting a free present. But you don't always need to accept free things just because you get them free. Because otherwise, later you will end up with too many things. Usually when you tidy up your house, you find some things which have been presents, and you have to take them out when the person comes to visit you again. But let's talk about Estonia's goals in terms of circular economy. By the year 2022, we have the white paper of circular economy, and we also have a roadmap. By the year 2035, Estonia wants to become a country that is guided by circular economy, which has a way of thinking and entrepreneurship which are led by circular economy. We are working hard towards this goal. Different studies have been carried out. We have the conference this year on European economic areas, circular economy activities. There are also different models for carrying out different measures. European Union incentives. So there is a lot of different regulation in order to bring about circular economy. There are also different funding possibilities, and we have a steering group, an expert committee, and work groups that work towards putting together important information and developing the field. I already mentioned the white paper. It has not been completely finalized, but this is only a matter of time. we are still waiting for some signatures. We are in the process of putting together a roadmap to plan for the year 2035, and we also have a work plan for different activities that are being carried out. This is not only something that the Ministry of the Environment is doing, but since the circular economy is something that affects the entire society, everyone should carry out activities. Some important topics to mention are the sustainable use of resources, keeping resources in use for as long as possible, as well as circular business models, know-how, such as handicraft, fixing things, building things, maintaining these kind of skills. Digital solutions are also important. One of the reasons why we are here today is to reinforce all these topics. So this is the circular economy roadmap with some interim goals up to the year 2030, but this is going to continue afterwards. All this information is available on the website of circular economy, and the environmental portal has information about each individual project. So feel free to check out these websites regularly to see all the updated information. Let's have a look at the funding now and the costs. So we have European Union funding, the total of 111 million euros aimed at circular economy, resource efficiency and waste management. We also have the Resource and Resilience Facility in the amount of 23.8 million euros, and we have EU level funding through Life Horizon and Innovation Fund. In addition to the EU funding, if we look at this in more detail, we want to make sure that this funding reaches all levels of the circular economy, from the design stage all the way to waste management, starting from the first mile of waste management, which is the moment when a person wants to get rid of their waste, up to the point where it is all recycled, making sure it is as sustainable as possible. So we can see that a lot of different initiatives and regulations are implemented at the European Union level, addressing topics such as biodiversity, zero pollution, and others. This is all part of the green transition in the EU, aiming to make the EU greener as a whole. The circular economy will also make our society more independent. Resources that are here are resources that we don't need to buy in. Everything that Estonia has is present here, and the more we make use of it, the less money we need to send outside of our country and through buying from other countries, especially considering that other countries are sometimes those that we do not want to give money to, knowing what they spend their money on. Circular economy aims to add value to what is here. And one important motto is what takes me back to the suit jacket example, that the best thing is the thing that we already own. If you talk about what is the best shopping bag what material should it be made of? The answer is that the best one is the one that you already have. Does not matter what it's made of. The best clothes are the ones that you already have. The best food is what you already have in your fridge, not the one that you buy. So first look inside of yourself. What do you already have? Let's look at the society. What do we already have? How to add value to it? And only things that we don't have should we buy from the outside and bring it into the society and then use it sustainably. Thank you very much. This was an overview of our activities.